This is going to be the most authentic H2 math topics review coming from someone who struggled in JC and finally mastered the topics by the end of JC2, and now I run a math tuition center where I teach all these topics from scratch. And I'm going to be reviewing every single topic, but in this video we're just going to be focusing on the second topic, which is graphs and transformation, which is typically the second or the first few topics that you'll learn in JC1. And I'll base off my ratings on these three metrics over here, right? Just to keep things very simple. The breadth of the concepts, the depth of the concepts that you're going to learn, as well as the difficulty of the questions in the exams. So let's begin. Now, for breadth of concepts, there is actually quite a lot of concepts for graphs and transformation, simply because you have two main portions. One is the drawing of the graph, actually three main portions. One is the asymptotes, right? Trying to sketch the graph itself using your GC. And typically, there are a lot of steps when it comes to this because you will need to know how to calculate the vertical asymptote, the horizontal asymptote, the oblique asymptote, right? So it's a long list of checklists of steps to do every single question, but the variation is not a lot. So when you internalize the checklist, like I need to first find this, then second find this, then third find this, so on and so forth, right? Once you internally know the checklist, most of the questions are essentially the same. So when there's a lot of breadth when it comes to the questions, in terms of depth, it's not really that complicated to understand, right? So breadth is really a lot, but depth is really pretty simple, I would say. And for the difficulty of the questions in the exams, I've not seen a graphs and transformation question be extremely difficult yet. However, for the portion on transformation, right, describing the transformation, there has been quite a lot of difficult questions set even in the A-level context, right? And usually we know that A-level is significantly easier than school questions, but somehow A-level questions can be pretty tricky, especially for the transformation part. So sketching of the graph and all that is still pretty okay. But when it comes to the transformation part, how you actually want to transform a certain graph to another type of graph, and even things like your reciprocal functions or your derivative functions, it can be pretty tricky to describe the transformation or even to sketch it. So overall, I would say that this chapter requires a lot of volume of practice because there is simply just so much concepts. But honestly, once you have the volume, the depth is not really that much. It's pretty easy to understand the concepts, and it's actually quite enjoyable to do the questions once you get the hang of it. So the variation is not a lot, but definitely requires quite a bit of time. So overall, I will place this topic in B tier, or maybe, let me put A tier. Yeah, probably A tier. Simply because it's still very easy to understand, but the questions can be pretty tricky. So overall, this will be my rating. Let me know what you think about this rating in the comments over here, and make sure to follow up and check out my YouTube channel, because on my YouTube channel, I post videos every single day to teach you every single concept from the H2 math syllabus from scratch. And I'm doing this throughout the entire year to help you study math for free. Make sure to follow up, and I'll see you in the next video.